Hi you guys, so it's Erika Papa here and I am back with another video, and today I wanted to do a live demonstration, so have you, of me tinting my brows and lashes. I've been doing this for quite a few months and I've seen like amazing results, at least for me personally. So I wanted to kind of show you guys what I use, how I do it, show you guys how simple it is, because I know these days everyone's getting lash extensions, everyone's getting lash lifts. I've seen a lot of people get microblading, which is kind of permanent and scary if you don't know who to go to. So I just wanted to show you guys what I've been doing at home, what serums I use combined with what tints I use, and it's been super simple and affordable. Way more affordable than a tattoo or, you know, lash extensions, because both of those can be very costly. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So excuse the mirror in the frame. I just really need to be able to see what I'm doing, and I don't understand what that like reflection is. Of course it's like the perfect angle of which I need to be able to see, but it wants to leave that cast on me. Anyways, I'm gonna put my hair back. This is the brand that I use, and I saw this based upon a recommendation from ShanXO here on YouTube. She's an OG, I'm sure you guys know her. She's from New Zealand, and she showed that she uses this, and I don't remember if she was doing her brows or her lashes or both, but yeah, I got one in the black and I got one in dark brown. So natural black and dark brown, and these will last you a very long time. I'll show you guys the contents of these in a second here, but these are just tints that are going to last you, I'm assuming, 1,000 hours, but typically it's just one lash cycle, which for me is like 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer because of the lash serum I use, and I'll just quickly show you guys that. I've been using this for well over a year now. This is Grande Lash and Grande Brow, and I've gotten sent these for a while. Push came to shove and they stopped sending me stuff, and I continued to buy these on Sephora. They're just that good. I like needed them. I saw a huge difference when I stopped using these because I didn't realize how much they were actually making my brows and my lashes grow until I stopped using them. And then, you know, they kind of like make your lashes stay in for longer than they normally would, so therefore they grow longer than they normally would, and they don't irritate my eyes at all. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. The lash is just this tiny little wand. You apply it once a day. I apply it every night after washing my face, and you just do it right along your lash line. And then the brow is a little bit of a different wand. This one is like my favorite. If I had to pick between the two, they both work, but my brows are just so important to me, and they're naturally pretty light and kind of sparse. This is the wand for the brow, and wow, this stuff works so well to fill in any gaps if you have any sparse areas. So now that I've told you guys about the serums that I use, and I would highly recommend you guys try, I'm definitely going to just show you guys the contents of one of these little kits right here. So if you open it up, I just keep it in here for like safekeeping, because I keep these underneath my sink in my bathroom. So you open it and this is what it looks like. I kind of kept everything that it came with just in case. So it's got this plastic lid you remove, the instructions, which I definitely did read the first time that I used this, and then here is the contents of the kit. I don't want anything to fall out, but you've got your spoolie, this tiny little plastic brush, which does have really small notches on it. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Mine is a little dirty because, like I've said, I've been doing this for a while and I've only ever bought one of these kits. It's been at least 4 or 5 months that I've been doing this, so, and this kit is not going to run out anytime soon. These are like really cost effective. I did buy these on Amazon, and I don't remember the exact price. I'll look it up for you guys, but I will link these below where I got them on Amazon. But it's literally $13. It's like $12.97 for one pack. And they have dark brown, brown black, and even blue black and blonde. And you can buy 1 pack to 6 packs. So however much you need, but I don't know. If you bought 6 packs, that'd be like a lifetime supply, man. It comes with this little spoolie, which you can use to kind of A, just brush your brows in place, but B, you can use it to mix the product and apply it. I prefer the other wand though. Next is the little color bottle. This is very tiny, but you literally need the tiniest dot of this to do both your lashes or your brows. And then the liquid developer. And I'm not even halfway through this bottle. It's still right here. So you really only need, I believe I used 10 drops of this, and you'd think that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't in comparison to how much is in this bottle. And they say, I believe, let me read the instructions. Okay, so they say to use 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch of cream and about 10 drops of liquid and mix together while using the white wand provided. I'm going to read the instructions, but just know I've developed my own way of doing this. They say to apply Vaseline around the area that you're going to be dyeing because you obviously don't want to stain outside of the lines. I realize that I have a little bit of a sensitivity with these, so I do not go all the way to the lash band when I do my lashes, and I also take off the color off my brows within a minute of me applying it. So I don't even really bother with putting the Vaseline on because I'm taking it off pretty much the second I'm done applying it. But don't be like me at home. I would definitely do a patch test, make sure you're not allergic. I am like very sensitive to it, it makes me itchy. But I just use some hydrocortisone after I am finished with my brows, and it goes away within a day. But yeah, it does warn you on here, just like hair color you put on your head, you can become allergic to it, you can already be allergic to it. So do a patch test, and also you are supposed to do the lash part with your eyes closed, but that kind of requires someone else. I mean, I can kind of keep one of my eyes open while the other one's closed, but I'm not gonna do my eyes like that. So I don't put it all the way to the root anyways, so I'm not really worried about it gooping into my eye. I barely apply enough for it to run anyways. I'll show you guys what I mean. They also do come with these little things to go underneath the eye, and I did use these when I was starting out, but I found them just to kind of be useless. And like I said, it's just because, you know, I'm not really moving around a lot when I'm doing this at home, and I'm also handy with a bunch of Q-tips, so this is kind of like what I use instead of those. And if I see that, you know, I've looked down or I've printed anything on my lower lash line, I just quickly remove it with a Q-tip, and it's not going to stain as long as you see it and get rid of it before, you know, I would say the minute mark. You're going to be fine. So I'm going to start off with my brows, and then we'll move into lashes, just because I already opened this kit. This is the little plastic that it came on. I showed you guys that. I took everything out of here except for the little under eye pads and the white wand. So I'm going to take the white wand out, and we're going to squeeze a little bit of this dark brown color into this little circle area, and I'll show you how much. So literally that's all that I use. Literally looks like poo. Next, I'm just going to take the developer drops, and I'm going to drop 10 drops of this. I'm really careful with this stuff, but I would definitely recommend not wearing like your nicest clothes to do this. This is just like a video, so obviously the dynamic is a little bit different, but put up my sleeves just in case. So now I'm going to take this white wand, and I'm going to carefully mix the two together. And I will say that this is going to look like it's never going to mix at first. You're going to be like, oh, I must have done this wrong. This looks like too much liquid, but eventually if you just keep stirring, it will mix together nicely. I'm kind of into having darker brows right now, so it just works. But also when I'm not wearing makeup, I don't have to touch them. It's like they've been microbladed. It's amazing. Even the blonde hairs, the light hairs that you don't really even see or know that are there, when you put this on, boom, you have so many more brow hairs than you even know. It's amazing. It's so cool. And it's like without the pain of getting a microbladed tattoo. You don't know if the person's gonna get your brows just how you want them. It costs a lot of money. I know they say that it's gonna be permanent, but everyone I know has had to go back so many times. And then they start to fade and kind of aren't as sharp as they once were, and it just looks like you've shaded them in instead of the hair-like strokes. I'm very into the hair-like strokes, so I don't know. Also, I just feel like I'd be the person to have an allergic reaction to the ink, because I know people that's happened to as well. So this is just a much safer option for me, even though my brows get a little itchy because it irritates my skin. It's much safer than getting that ink injected to your eyebrow, which I feel like all my brow hairs would just fall out if I did that. I don't know. Eventually, the two just kind of turn into a cream. I'm gonna zoom you guys in, but I do apply it with this actual thing. I've applied it with the spoolie, but I'm the type of person that has to be very precise with this. I technically could apply it with a brush, but this has little grooves in it that kind of, when you lift up on the brow hairs, it brushes them a little bit at the same time, and it kind of gets to the root of those hairs, because you do kind of want to get to the root and get this on your skin where your brows are, if that makes sense. Okay, we're going real close today. So I'm just going to grab some on my wand. I'm just going to start at the bottom and pull upwards. I don't want my hand to block the frame for you guys. Okay. So I guess I kind of drag it like I would if I were lining my brow. Like I line it and then I pull upward. You'll be able to feel when you're actually getting the product on your skin. And that's kind of when you know that it's saturated enough. And I really do pile it on because there's so much product. 10 drops and the inch could literally be cut in half and you could have this bottle for years. Okay, so you pretty much just want it to look like that. You don't want it to have any real gaps, I guess. And then what I'm going to do is quickly run into the bathroom and grab some cotton rounds because I forgot that I need those to wipe it off. But quickly before I do that, I'm just going to take a Q-tip and you can clean up your lines. I was pretty careful. But like I said, if something sits longer than a minute and it's not where you want it, it will stain the skin. So right now it's definitely been on more like 2 minutes, maybe even 3. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over it with a wet cotton round to make sure I get off all the excess dye because that'll definitely irritate my skin. You guys can see that difference, right? I have like a baldish spot right here, but wow, just the fact that it darkens it the perfect amount for me. Even if I was super blonde again, I think I would still do this just because you don't have to wear any brow products and you feel so much more comfortable like going out of the house. This isn't horrible or anything by any means, but this is just so much more my speed right now, like especially when it's not in this lighting with all these bright lights. Like it's just the little extra something that I need. And on top of it all, when I look at this brow now, I'm more easily able to see what hairs I want to pluck because it kind of colors all the hairs that you're touching, obviously, right? And sometimes there's like little light ones that are kind of mixed in right along the line that you're trying to pluck and you can't see them, but they're there and they kind of like mess up when you're trying to create a crisp line doing your brows with like a pomade. And when you dye them darker, you can see them obviously. So then you can like lift up your brow, get at them real quick, and then you have a really crisp line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other brow and then I'll be right back and we will do the lashes. Yes. They look so much better. Okay, so now we get to move on to lashes. And lashes is pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna go rinse this really quickly, but yeah, there's still a bunch left in there. You just wanna rinse your applicator as good as you can. So now on to the natural black, which is for the lashes. And the lashes might be kind of hard for me to show you guys. I'm gonna try my hardest to capture it, but I also need to be pretty close to a mirror the whole time. So I don't really know how this is gonna work. Obviously the package looks exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the little tube is the black. With this, I definitely don't make as much because I find you use even less, and I showed you guys how much I didn't need from the first one. So just keep that in mind. It's already like coming out on its own now that I opened it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm just going to use, it's a little less. It's kind of hard to gauge, especially when it's like coming out of the tube on its own. So I think this is as good as it's gonna get for angles, but I just have this much on the brush. You don't want to go in with too much when you are doing your eyelashes, because like I said, you don't want it to be goopy, you don't want it to drip into your eye. This is just how I do it by myself, by my lonesome. I'm just gonna start at the tips, and that's the coolest part to me, is because like I can't really ever see how long my lashes are until I do this. I mean, it's very similar to just applying mascara, except you're not going to the root, so I like to start at the tip. For the lashes, it's very similar to mascara because you need to like build it up, because I found that when you try to go in with too much product straight off the bat, it won't stay on the tips. And for me at least, being a natural blonde, the tips are the spot that's like invisible, so that's definitely where you want the product to be. I definitely wouldn't advise this unless you know that you trust yourself, you know what I mean? If you're someone who is new to makeup and you haven't applied a bunch of mascara before, or you get finicky when you're around your own eye area, don't do this. I could like literally touch my eyeball if I wanted to, between putting contacts in and wearing makeup for how many years I have. So that's why I trust myself enough to apply a dye this close to my eye. Definitely like to use the tip of the plastic applicator to get in between, make sure I'm not missing a bunch of hairs. You can see how I'm kind of like building up now. It seems like the first layer, oh, I could feel myself touching my eyelid. The first layer kind of needs to dry before you can, wow, that looks crazy on camera. Wow, the difference. But yeah, the first layer needs to dry so that you can kind of build on it, or it will just take it right off the tips. So what I like to do next is I go in on top of the lashes and kind of comb downward to make sure that I'm covering both the tops and the bottoms. I don't know if this really makes a difference, but my theory was, if I'm looking down, are my lashes black or are they blonde? You know what I mean? Because you're like technically only combing one side. So I always just do this to be precautious. Like, I want both sides of my lashes to be black. I don't really like how clumpy that's getting, so I'm just gonna clean off my brush and kind of thin that out. How close you get to the root is completely up to you. I did curl my lashes earlier today, and I feel like that kind of helps you be able to get closer to the base of your lashes. I've actually even done this to my husband before. I don't know if he'd want me to tell you guys that. I pressured him into it, but he has the most beautiful, I feel like a lot of guys have really beautiful lashes that they take for granted, and I just like couldn't even imagine how beautiful they'd be if I like got the tips of them to be dark too, you know what I mean, because they were already so full. It was incredible, and for the entire month I could not stop staring at his lashes. So there's that. How close you want to get, completely up to you. I definitely leave a gap because I don't want it to melt into my eye, but I also don't really want you to be able to see the gap, so I just kind of base it upon what I feel is right. For the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to try to just do the bottom, since I'm going to wait for this eye so I can show you guys like the dramatic difference, because I feel like the lashes are even more dramatic than the brows. They're crazy, because these are like, they're like blonde pretty much. I mean, there's like some residual mascara that I started off with, but my lashes are pretty much blonde to begin with. I feel like you can't see how blonde they are because I have a lot of darkness around my eyes. I wore Halloween makeup yesterday and I did a lot of rubbing and scrubbing to get it off, so I got a lot of darkness and discoloration and pink and stuff, but my lashes are like invisible. You will have to kind of like remix the dye in between applying, because it kind of gets a little dry at the top where you're grabbing the product, and then it doesn't apply as well to the lashes, especially the lower lashes. They're so finicky, I feel like. I found that a key thing with doing lower lashes is kind of just like pressing sideways on them and trying to get them to stick together, because that's really the only way that you can get them to have the dye stay on the lash. Okay, I have to stop looking down. So pretty much just for a few minutes, I'm gonna have to look dead ahead while the lower lash line dries, and then I will wipe it off and I will show you guys how I do that safely. Now that this is slightly more intimidating to take off strictly because it's on your eye. So I got some cotton rounds, or cotton balls rather. I have some dry ones and some wet ones, and typically I just wipe it. I don't have any problems. I just close my eye really tight and I wipe straight downward, and then I will grab the other wet one and I will kind of go side to side and upward, and that will get all the remnants. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll go in and dry it off with a dry cotton round. So here we go. It's more nerve-wracking doing it on camera, but okay, here we go. While my eye's still closed, I reach for the other wet one. So helpful to be able to open one eye. And then I'm just going upwards and getting all the remnants off. I had no idea I had this many lashes. My mood is now elevated. Look at the difference. Oh my gosh. Trying to make sure I didn't just dip my shirt in black dye, because that would just be so like me. So now I'm just gonna go and do the other eye, and then I will come back and show you guys the finishing touches of what I do after coloring my brows and lashes. Sometimes if I can see that there's like a lot getting close to my eye and I know I'm about to take it off, I'll just take the Q-tip, and since it's so easy to come off onto the Q-tip, I just roll away from the eye, like upward, and you can get like most of the dye off before even going in with the cotton ball. So now that I'm done with the actual coloring process, I wanted to show you guys what I do for aftercare. So now, first off, I just want to explain something really quickly. I'm going to go in and curl my lashes to show you guys the full effect, because I feel like my eyes are so red right now that you can't really fully see how long my lashes are once tinted. There is a lash lifting process, and I've even seen kits to do it at home where they like, you know, it's got like this little rubber silicone thing that you fold your lashes around and then you put on this perm. Jenna Marbles even did a video about it. Like, most people know about this, but I don't know, that just looks scarier to me. Not to mention, I feel like this literally takes me 2 seconds. When I put on mascara, I'm a perfectionist. I need to like go in with multiple coats. So like, I feel like the tinting process is worth it for an everyday effect. But like, I can grab a lash curler at any time and like give it a few pulses and like I'm happy. I don't really want to like try to go through perming my lashes at home. It just sounds like a lot, and it sounds more scary, and yeah. So this is like the finishing touch, not only to show you guys, but this is like what I do on a daily basis. Just lash tinting, curling my lashes, and using these Grande Cosmetics serums on my brows and lashes, and I feel like a new woman. So I'm just gonna curl them really quickly, and then I will show you guys the finished result. Here they are, very, very curled and black. Of course, as I said, you guys can be the determiner at home of if you have a sensitivity to the dye. Not everyone does. I definitely do. It just gets a little itchy, so I go ahead and put some cortisone 10 on my eyebrows overnight, and this just kind of really helps to ensure that you know, I'm gonna calm down that irritated skin as quickly as possible. Just like very conditioning. It can get pretty itchy, so I just want to make sure that all my brow hairs don't get irritated. Normally I would go in and like trim my eyebrows and pluck them now, but I already did that yesterday, so they are looking pretty sharp already. So I'm just gonna let them chill since they already just went through that entire tinting process. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much the gist of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if this is something you guys would try at home, if you would prefer this to microblading, if you guys think it was that much of a difference, because I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but like, to me, this is a huge difference. Like, I feel like I'm wearing mascara and this is just such a pick-me-up. It's the equivalent of like waking up already with your extensions in, or just, I don't know, it just makes you feel like that much more confident every day, just even without makeup, you know, those no makeup days, just looking in the mirror and being like, oh, at least I got brows and lashes, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you guys, these serums really work. Not sponsored. I love these. I love the brow and the lash serum. They're both amazing. You can get them on Sephora. I believe they're around $60, $70. Don't quote me. I know that the brow is a little bit more expensive actually, but I pay it because these suckers work, and I have tried so many lash serums, both cheaper and more expensive, and those are just, they're the ones I stick with. They work for me. They seriously make a huge difference. But yeah, let me know if you guys try any lash serums at home, if you guys have ever tinted at home, if you guys are gonna try this out. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.